Sandy Toksvig joins us now from London.
Oh, it's always terrifying to see an old clip like that. Life flashes before you. Can I say you said 30 years? It's 40 years, my darling, that I've been in the spotlight. I'm much older than you think.
Sorry, I was just trying to make you feel better. Did that not work?
Everything about you is making me feel better.
Oh, that's very lovely. We'll see how I go with this question then and how I come out the other side. You've just announced some huge news. You're bringing your comedy down under, and incredibly, this is the first tour of Australia. It's astonishing to me that this hasn't happened before.
It's astonishing to me too. It can't be right. It can't be right. I am so excited about coming. I've been to Sydney once before, but I've never been to Melbourne. I've never been to Perth. I just think something has gone wrong in my life that hasn't happened before. So I hope that I shall get a very warm welcome.
Sandy, I will be your friend when you're here.
There's some places I want to go. Can I tell you the sort of places that I want to go?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know about the women's underground toilet movement in Melbourne? Do you know about this?
No, tell me everything.
Okay, so there was a thing called the urinary leash, which in Victorian and Edwardian times, they kept women close to home because they weren't able to go to the toilet there were no public facilities. So they started these underground toilets. And there's one still, I think, at Gordon Reserve near Spring Street in the city of Melbourne. So this was started in 1902. And I wonder if you'd go with me.
I will go with you. We'll get a takeaway coffee and go and look at some toilets. That sounds like a dream come true.
There's one at the town hall in Collins Street.
Yes, there is. There is a beautiful
You'd know
toilet.
that one. Yep.
You've obviously been doing some research, not just because you're a travel nerd, I think. Is it true that you tailor your shows specifically to each city that you perform in? And is all of those facts about the shows you'll do here?
Yeah, absolutely. And also to the specific date. So, for example, today's May the 9th. If we were going to be doing a show today, I could tell you that today is Lost Sock Memorial Day in the United States. And I think that's worth celebrating. I definitely think that's worth thinking about. If you look at Wikipedia for today, Wikipedia does a thing, what happened on the whole day on May the 9th. And let me tell you, this is very pleasing. As far as Wikipedia is concerned, women did nothing. Historically, we took the whole of May the 9th off. I mean, we never did a thing. We were exhausted. I don't know what happened. So if anybody knows anything.
Is it possible, though, you lost some socks and therefore there were memorials dedicated to things that you'd been doing?
Yeah, although you say this, men are 6 times more likely to lose socks than women. Just going to put it out there.
And that's why we have the memorials for them, right?
Memorial Sock Day.
Sandy, is it men or is it teenage boys?
No, it's men, I'm afraid, darling. Teenage boys, their mothers found them for them.
What a grisly discovery.
You have done so much in your 40-year career, including taking over as host on QI. I absolutely love you as the host of that show. You obviously took over from Stephen Fry. Was that just so they could finally have a professional in the hosting role?
I think it was that, darling. I've known Stephen since we were 19 years old, and he's honestly just a very silly boy. And I think people need to discover this about him. The only worry I had when I took over from Stephen was that he is more than 6 foot tall, and I'm 5 foot tall, and I had to sit in his chair, and they had to put it on a box, the chair, and I had to be lifted up into the chair for the first 2 seasons of the show. I know I'm staying now because I have my own chair. So there you go.
Hey, Sandy, I have to ask you if this fact, as it's come to me about your life, is true, because it sounds astonishing. Is it true that this was when you were probably quite a little kid, you were in NASA mission control when man first set foot on the moon?
Yes, so I was 11 years old, and in those days, security wasn't what it is today. My father was foreign correspondent, and he was covering the moonshot. So there's Apollo 11, the first landing on the moon. He was covering the moonshot for Danish television, and I was just sort of wandering about. And I was standing in mission control, and there was a woman standing there. She looked very nervous, and I've always been friendly. And I said, "Oh, you all right?" She said, "Well, I'm a little nervous because my boss is about to step out onto the moon," and it was Neil Armstrong's secretary. So I said to her, "Oh, don't worry, I'll hold your hand." So when Neil Armstrong stepped out onto the moon, I was holding his secretary's hand.
Wow, that is unbelievable. What a great story.
Hang on, Steve, do you believe it now? Because
Yeah,
Sandy,
because it came from the horse's mouth. I understand it now. I believe it.
Okay, he was very sceptical today.
Very sceptical.
I believe he said the word, no, she's full of it in our meeting.
I did not say that.
I am full, though, that is fair.
Good on you.
Well, head to our website for details on Sandy's show, Sandy Talks Vig Live, when it lands here in November. No word yet on tickets for the toilet tour. We'll keep you posted. But Sandy, thanks so much for joining us on the project.
Well, I never thought I'd say these words, but I'm so jealous that you get to go on a toilet tour.
I'm so excited. I really am so
What a great bit
excited.
of history, though, just to be able to pull out.
How do I get in touch with her? I forgot to ask her. Am I going to slide into her DMs?
If only we had people who'd been in touch with her.
That might be my first DM slide.
Imagine if that was the last question of the interview and you went, Sandy, how do I get in touch with you? And you just see her hang up her Zoom.